First thing we need to do is to create a bootable USB media file for our Linux distribution. Just go to Rufus and then click the download button and wait for the file to be downloaded. Rufus is the tool we are going to use to make our bootable USB for Linux distribution. After the file is finished, just click open. Here, we are now going to input our ISO file. If you still don't have the Linux ISO file, you can go to your web browser and then search for Linux ISO file distribution. And here, in the ubuntu.com, you can download the Ubuntu 20.04.3 LTS. Just click the download button and the ISO file for the Linux distribution will now start. After the download is finished, we can now head back to our Rufus. Just go to your start menu and then search for your Rufus. After opening the Rufus, you must select your ISO file. Just click the select button and then choose your Linux distribution ISO file. Then click the open button. After that, you can just check the details and then you're ready to go and just click the start button for the process to be started. Just click the OK button. Click the yes button. After that, all you're gonna need to do is to wait until this finish. After finishing the process, you can now head on your file explorer, then check on your USB flash drive. And now you're done. You have the bootable USB flash drive for Linux distro. Once you have your USB bootable flash drive, you can now insert it on your computer, and now we're going to set up our virtual machine. After finish setting up your virtual machine, your BIOS will now detect the bootable media and it will now start booting from it. When the BIOS detects the bootable media, then it boots from it. The installer will check your hard disk, file system after a successful boot. To skip this process, you can press Ctrl plus C. We're just going to wait for this process to complete. When the disk check is completed or cancelled, we can now see the Ubuntu welcome page after a few seconds. As you can see in my screen, we have two options here. Try Ubuntu or install Ubuntu. In our case, we're gonna install it now. Just click the install Ubuntu button. After that, we're gonna choose our keyboard layout and click continue. Just click the continue button. After that, we can see here the types of installation. We have normal or minimal installation. And also we're gonna check here the options to install third-party software for graphics and Wi-Fi hardware and additional media for. The next one is just click the continue button. And now we're going to select the actual type of installation. This is the most confusing part, is usually the type of installation on Linux, particularly for new Linux users. In this case, we have two options in installing it. The first option we have is using an unpartitioned hard drive without an OS installed. The second option we have is by using an already partitioned hard drive with an existing OS installed. In my case, I am going to use the second options, which is using an already partitioned hard drive with an existing OS installed. Just click the continue button. And here, we're just going to click the new partition table. And next, click the continue button. And here, we're now able to see the free space created equal to the hard drive's capacity. To create a partition as described next, double click the free space. Just double click it, and then here you can see the pop-up create partition. And then next is enter the size of the new partition from the total free space to create a root partition where the base system files will be installed. Then set the type of file system to ext4 and the mount point to / from the drop-down list. Here is just type the size. For me, let's put it 6.2. And here, since it's now in ext4 journaling file system, all we need to do is here the mount point. Just click this / then click OK. After doing that, the new partition should appear in the list of the partitions here in our screen. Next thing we need to do is we must create a swap partition area. To create a new partition, use as a swap area. Double click on the current free space, then enter the size of the swap partition and set the swap area. Here, just double click it. And here, just use as find the swap area. Now click OK. At this point, we are now able to see the two partitions created, the root partition and the swap partition. The next thing we're going to do is to install it now. Just click the install now button. We, we will be prompted to permit the installer to write the recent changes concerning partitioning to disk. we need to click the continue button. After doing that, the next step, as we can see here, we're gonna select our location. Just click continue. The next step we're going to do is to provide our user details for system account creation. After filling this up detail, just click the continue button. And here it is now installing. We're just going to wait for this process to be finished. The actual base system installation is now beginning. After the installation is now completed, we are just going to click the restart button to reboot your system. Also, don't forget to remove your installation media, otherwise it will still boot from your system. After that, here is the screen you're going to see. The Linux home screen.